It starts quietly. No one notices it happening. You're still a child, standing in a room where emotions feel heavy. Maybe no one is yelling, maybe no one is hitting, but something is missing. Comfort doesn't arrive when you need it. Your feelings feel inconvenient, and slowly, without anyone explaining it to you, your nervous system learns something dangerous. If I'm easy, if I don't complain, if I don't need too much, I'll be safe. So you become the good kid. You listen, you behave. You don't ask questions that make adults uncomfortable. You learn to smile even when you don't understand what you're feeling. And the world rewards you for it. You're so mature, you're so responsible. I never have to worry about you. What they don't see is the trade you made. Because every time you were praised for being good, a small part of you learned that love had conditions. And slowly, you disappear. Not physically, psychologically. You cry less. You need less. You learn to read the room before you speak. You adjust your emotions to fit everyone else's comfort. You become hyper-aware of tone shifts, facial expressions, silence. You become the emotional thermostat of the room, and no one ever stops to ask, at what cost? This is the psychology of the child who was always the good kid, because being good was never about kindness, it was about safety. When children grow up in environments where emotions are ignored, minimized, or punished, they don't rebel, they adapt. They learn that being agreeable keeps connection intact, that being low maintenance prevents abandonment, that having needs feels dangerous. So instead of expressing themselves, they monitor themselves. Psychologists call this a form of emotional suppression. But to a child, it doesn't feel clinical, it feels like survival. You learn that love is something you earn, that approval is a transaction, that if you perform well enough, stay quiet enough, cause little enough disruption, you'll be allowed to stay. And over time, that performance becomes your identity. You don't just act like the good kid. You believe you are the good kid. But deep inside, something tightens, because the part of you that wanted to be loud, messy, needy, that part never went away. It was just buried. As you grow older, the pattern follows you. You become the friend who listens to everyone but shares nothing. The partner who overfunctions and underneath. It's the employee who overdelivers and underestimates. You feel guilty saying no, uncomfortable receiving help, restless during calm moments, because your nervous system learned early on that stillness isn't safe, that being needed is safer than being seen. You might even feel proud of how strong you are, but strength built on self-erasure always comes with a quiet grief, because deep down, you're still waiting for someone to notice, to say, you don't have to be good right now, you don't have to hold it together, you don't have to earn care. And that waiting becomes exhausting. Here's the part no one tells the good kid. Your behavior was never a personality trait. It was a coping strategy. You didn't choose to be this way. Your nervous system chose it for you. Children will do anything for attachment, even abandon themselves. That's not weakness. That's intelligence. But what saved you then may be hurting you now. Because as an adult, you may still be living in quiet survival mode. You apologize for having emotions. You flinch at praise. You feel uncomfortable when someone wants to take care of you. You confuse exhaustion with success. You confuse anxiety with intuition. You confuse being needed with being loved. And you may not even realize anything is wrong. Because when emotional neglect is normalized early, it doesn't feel like trauma. It feels like just how things are. So you tell yourself, it wasn't that bad. Other people had it worse. I turned out fine, but fine is a mask too. And somewhere underneath it, the child you once were is still asking, why did I have to be so good just to be loved? Healing doesn't start with fixing yourself. It starts with witnessing, with acknowledging that what you adapted to wasn't healthy, that the price you paid was real, that the grief you carry makes sense. Because the good kid didn't get to be a child. They didn't get to fall apart safely. They didn't get to be inconvenient. They didn't get to be held without performing. And now, as an adult, you feel like you're always holding your breath, waiting for permission to rest, waiting for permission to need, waiting for permission to finally stop being so strong. But here's the truth. No one is coming to rescue the child you buried. You are the one who has to go back. You are the one who has to sit beside them and say, you didn't deserve that. You weren't difficult. You weren't too much. You were just a child. This is where the work begins. Not with positivity, not with productivity, but with grief, with allowing yourself to feel what you never had time to feel, to mourn the softness you lost while keeping everyone else comfortable, to honor the anger, the sadness, the unmet needs. That grief isn't weakness, it's thawing. And as it thaws, something changes. You begin to say no without explaining. You begin to rest without guilt. You begin to let yourself be seen imperfectly. You stop living as the good kid and start living as a whole person, because healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before love felt conditional. So if you were the good kid, know this. Your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you had no choice. But now you do. You can choose softness. You can choose rest. You can choose to stop disappearing. You didn't get the childhood you deserved, but you still get a future. And this time you get to show up as you are. Not good, not perfect, just real. This is Still Patterns.